Jehovah, you are God.
There is power almighty in the blood. Hallelujah.
There is power mighty in the blood.
In the blood.
There is power mighty in the blood of Jesus Christ. There is power mighty in the blood.
Mighty.
There is power mighty in the blood.
Hallelujah.
There is power mighty in the blood.
In the blood.
There is power mighty in the blood of Jesus Christ. There is power mighty in the blood.
Father, we thank you once again for who you are.
Amen.
For what you are about to do.
Amen.
Lord, we'll give you glory, we'll give you adoration.
Amen.
We'll give you honor, we'll give you thanks.
Amen.
We'll give you praise because we know that your power is about to do wonders in our midst.
Amen.
We know that your glory is about to touch us.
Amen.
Lord, we'll ask for your spirit tonight.
Amen.
Holy Spirit of the living God, have your way.
Amen.
Take absolute control, Holy Ghost.
Yes.
Do wonders in our midst.
Amen.
Touch our life.
Yes.
Transform our life.
Thank you.
Lord Jesus, let your power deliver us.
Amen.
Let your power set us free.
Amen.
Holy Spirit, make me instrument in your hands.
Yes.
So that the name of Jesus will be glorified.
Amen.
We'll cover this auditorium with the blood of Jesus. We'll cover the atmosphere with the blood of Jesus. Father, we thank you because we know that it is done.
Thank you,
In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed.
Amen.
Glory to Jesus. Nobody is there to put volume for my microphone. Don't turn anything. Just put me volume. Huh?
It's the highest.
The volume is highest.
Yes.
Check volume here for the this thing here. What is happening to it? Don't tune anything anymore in that in the mixture because blood has tuned it already. Check volume here where the box is. I'm not talking about the speaker. Is the speaker on? No, check volume in the box of my microphone box. There is volume here. You can see that on the head of your enemy.
Amen. It's good. You got the battery?
It's not the battery. We changed battery last week. Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
Can you put glory to Jesus?
Amen.
Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
Work on that the other side. The speaker was not on before. Wasn't on. Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
Now we bless the name of the Lord for today. It doesn't matter who turn up, Jesus is here.
Yes. Amen.
So if you are watching online, remember that Jesus is here.
Amen.
So Jesus is the one that you need.
Amen.
You need Jesus.
Yes.
You need Jesus. Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
So we bless the name of the Lord today. And I know that power of God is about to set someone free.
Amen.
I don't know who is that person.
Amen.
But all I know is that Jesus is about to set somebody free.
Amen.
Father, we thank you once again.
Thank you, Jesus.
Because we know that you are in this place.
Thank you, Jesus.
We thank you because we know that we cannot thank you enough.
Amen.
We bless your holy name.
Amen.
We worship you.
Thank you, Jesus.
I want you to understand this thing that what God is about to do here today will shock your mind.
Amen.
It will blow your mind.
Amen.
You see, today we are going to remember this service.
Thank you, Lord.
We are going to remember the day that we came in here. We feel that, we are going to remember this day. So what do we have today? Don't forget, on Sunday, if you are watching online, on Sunday is our communion service. We don't just take communion as a tradition. We'll pray, and the power of the Holy Communion will be able to manifest through that communion. So on Sunday, don't miss it. If you are having any challenge, bring it to Jesus so that his blood will set you free. Amen. So on Sunday is our communion service, and we are still in season of prayer. We are going to pray as we never prayed before. Amen. So today we are going to talk about, and God bless Noah. God bless Noah. When I was looking at things, I was saying to myself, like when we are praying, when we are reading Bible, we always talk about blessings of Abraham. But nobody have ever talked about blessings of Noah. Because I don't know what is, He said, because from generation before we came to Abraham, you have to get to Noah first before Abraham. Because Noah is somebody, I can say, is a preacher who preached a message and no soul was won unto Christ. But was he preached his message? He preached his message every day. But he did not win any soul for Christ. Glory to Jesus. But one thing I like about this topic today is that we are going to go into the full details, and your life will never remain the same. Amen. Because when we talk about blessing, you have to know that blessing is for generation. So blessing never be for one person. But miracle is for a person. But blessing is for generation. That's why when it came to blessing, you find out that Satan cannot bless. But Satan can perform miracle. But Satan never bless. So Satan always curses. But it's only God that bless. Because the Bible says in the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and to 27 and 28, it says God, after creating man, he blessed them. Amen. Glory to Jesus. Hallelujah. So Elder, go with us to the book of Genesis chapter 8 verse 1. Book of Genesis chapter 8 verse 1.
Genesis 8:1.
Yes.
And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged.
Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
When you look at this place, I begin to, when I read this place, I said, and God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle. I know that my own say, and God remembered Noah and all his livestock. Glory to Jesus. I don't know if anybody have that one. Wait. I will read from my own. Because I know it's the same word, but my own said it in the way that blew my mind as well. He said, and God, and God remember what? Let me say, 8 verse 1. Let me come, just give me a minute. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animal that with him. Then he said, and all the livestock that was with him. What does he got to do? When Bible talk about God remembering Noah, what is the animal got to do by remembrance of God? Well, he said, and God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. Then I begin to say to myself that it's only the blessings of the Lord. That when God pours his blessings upon your life, then all your household, whether you have if you have a dog in that house, dogs shall be blessed. Because he said, and God remembered Noah. And all the living things. So it's not only Noah, it's everything concerning Noah that God was remembering. So I begin to ask myself this question. So any day the book of remembrance is open for somebody, everything concerning that person is changed. God remember Noah and all the cattle and and he said all the cattle. So when you wake up in the morning, you see cattle of Noah in the field, and you are a farmer as well, you have cattle. Don't think that you have the same cattle like Noah. Because Noah cattle can be able to be given birth like any other thing. But you are asking yourself, people are going to be rushing the meat from the Noah cattle. You'll be asking yourself what is going on. Then you remember what the Bible said, and God remembered Noah and everything that was with him. So I begin to say, oh, so the blessings of the Lord start, not only from Noah, start from we can say from Adam, when Adam sinned, and then he came back to Noah. Then it's not from Abraham. Because when you remember what happened, after God destroyed the whole earth, the only thing that left is Noah and his family and all his animals. So the animal that God created first in the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 to 28, then all of them was perished. It perished in the sea. So the generation of the blessings of Abraham starts from Noah. Because only Noah's generation was left. Only Noah and his family, an animal that Noah took inside the cattle, inside the ark that was left. That animal he took was his own from the beginning. Glory to Jesus. Amen. So God looked at and said, if I bless only Noah, then the animal will not prosper. Me and you are not going to be having some lambs and some beef and some chicken and chips and chicken, and all those things, gave chicken now. It starts from the day of Noah. So God said, no, I'm going to pour my blessing upon Noah and everything that surrendered him. Let me say this to you. When I sit down and look at what blessing means, I know that every child of God, most of us, lack understanding of what blessing means. It can show you that if you are a child of God, if you are doing what please God, you and your entire household will enjoy blessing. So you see, sometimes when we are serving God, then people are not going to see the blessings of the Lord in our house. So that from that very day, Noah became a product of blessing. Not only that, we are going to see as well the life of Abraham, because we are in the season of divine remembrance. Amen. Let's go to the book of Genesis 19, verse 29. Elder, just read it for us. Genesis 19, verse 29. Genesis 19, verse 29.
Genesis 19:29. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up.
No, it's okay. Go back to that 29, not you, Elder. He said, and it came to pass when God destroyed the city of what? Of the plain, that God remembered what? Abraham and sent Lot. Why would God remember Abraham? We are going to find out later. Because Abraham was not in the city, but Lot, his brother, was in the city. But because of Abraham, his I can call it his cousin, his uncle was what? Was saved. Because of somebody, for you to know that blessings run in a family. Because of Abraham, somebody was saved in another place. Because God remembered Abraham. Why? Because God has blessing upon Abraham. We're going to see something here. When we talk about remembrance, you have to know what remembrance means. Remembrance is recognition. When somebody is recognized, or when somebody we say this is a memorial. When somebody has a memorial, that you can say that person is that you can say is a remembrance. If somebody died now and gone, Sometimes, 1 year later, people say, I'm doing a remembrance mass. We are remembering 1 year of his death. Just they make a memorial. That's why when you go to Burial Ground, there is a memorial here. That the headstone represents sometimes when people will die at war, they make a memorial for them so that their name will not be forgotten, so that they will be recognized in the society. So anything society is doing, society carries them along, even though they are dead and gone. Glory to Jesus. So God is saying today we are going to find out that as a child of God, our memorial will have to be a memorial before God. Will have to be something that stood, that God will never forget in his mind. God will recognize us today.
Yes.
Glory to Jesus. So these two people, because of them, something changed. Why would something change? Because they were recognized by God. Why would something change? Because their memorial is before God every day. So it's not that, even though the Bible said the eyes of God go to and fro, when the eyes of God is going to and fro, his eyes is still upon these people. So God knows about them. God knows that there is somebody they call Noah. God knows that there is somebody they call Abraham. Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
So I was looking at what happened here. Why would God remember Noah? Why would God make it possible that Noah was blessed and all his animal was blessed? Why? Because of Noah was obedient to God.
Amen.
So when we want to get something from God, if we want to be recognized for God, from that God to recognize us, we have to be people who are obedient to what God has asked us to do.
Amen.
So there is no way disobedient child, the father will recognize him. If you are disobedient, your father will never accept you as a child. Have you not seen some father denying their children? But look at this man. When everybody was enjoying, we're going to see it in the book of Genesis 6, from verse 9 to 22. When everybody was enjoying, life was so good. There is no poverty. People were enjoying the blessings of the Lord. God came to Noah and said, you know what happened? I want you to do something for me. And how can Noah preach a gospel, preach a message in a city where people does not have any problem? In a city where there is no sickness, in a city where there is no affliction, in a city where everybody was enjoying the blessings of the Lord. Because the Bible said that God created man and blessed them. And the same God said to Noah, you know what happened? I want you to do something for me. Let's see it in the book of Genesis chapter 6. From verse 9 to 22, elder, please.
Genesis 6, 9
to 22.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begat three sons.
Just look at it. Just as I see that. Look at the beginning of CV of Noah. Noah was what? This is a generation of Noah. Noah was a just man and a perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. Noah walked with God. So you ask yourself this question: if somebody is walking with a creator, with the power, with God that created everything, then you are telling me that the person will not be blessed. He was perfect. Not only that he was perfect, he was a just man. Not only that he was a just man, but he also walked with God. So when you are walking with God, tell me who can stop your blessing. I think that's what I'm saying now. So for you to see the beginning of his CV, so automatically any place the CV of Noah goes, in those days, his CV, the company who took him first. Why? Because the criteria, the qualification they needed is there.
Amen.
So in the eyes of God, the CV of Noah in heaven is number one. So God picked his CV to say, this is what I'm looking for. Then let's continue reading it.
And Noah begat three sons. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life, from under heaven. And everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing, of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, 2 to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And taken thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Amen.
Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
When you start reading it and came to verse 22, after God have said to Noah what to do, and the Bible says in verse 22, he said that thus did Noah. That means Noah did according to all that the Lord has commanded him to do. Obedient.
Amen.
So when God looked at his CV to pick him, God has found that Noah have the spirit of obedience. So when you carry the spirit of obedience, obedient to the commandment of your father, there is no way that God will not remember you. So always people like to say, God, remember me, oh Lord. When God look at your CV, there is nothing that will make God to remember you. Maybe there is violence in your life that Bible said that the earth was with violence. And God look at it and say, instead of me remembering this person, let me help Satan to destroy the person. I think that's what I'm saying now. So because Noah was a just man, a perfect man, he was working with God. So when you get to remembrance, you have to understand that the book of remembrance will open for people who God has got their memory. God is precious in the sight of God. They are not ordinary people. They are people who have done something that God will say, no, it's my mind that these people are for me. Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
So he said he did according to God, what God has commanded him to do. Obedient. That's why when Samuel was saying to Saul, he said, obedient is better than sacrifice. But let me say this to you. Sometimes children of God will want to sacrifice before obedient. But obedient is what comes first. Obey, when you came to military, they call it obey the last order. So when it's about soldier obey first before going for sacrifice. It's when they obey, they put their life in danger. Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
So we are going to see that 4 things that make a man to have divine remembrance today. Number 1 is the obedient. We're going to see as well in the life of Abraham what worked for Abraham in the book of Genesis 18 from verse 22 to 32. Elder, please, Genesis 18 from verse 22 to 32, please.
Genesis 18,
Yes.
verse 22.
Yes.
And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the places for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
So Abraham was interceding for a country that was sinning against God. So when he came to divine remembrance, what made God to be listening to Abraham? Because Abraham, Bible said that he obeyed God, it was accounted unto him for righteousness. So obedience is the first thing when he came to God's rules. When we come to our Father, we have to first obey. When we obey God, God always knows that we'll carry that thing in us that make us to recognize that He's our Father. Glory to Jesus. Because there is no way, I said it, there is no any child who doesn't obey his parents. That's why when you came to 10 commandments, the only commandment that carry blessing, that carry long life, is say obey your parents, obey, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long. So when you obey God, it will account for you for what? Divine remembrance. So Abraham was interceding for God about Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because he was obeying God from day one. So obedience is number one key. When we don't have obedience, when you talk about remembrance, in the whole church, you can find that God can remember only one person. Why? Because when he came to God, he doesn't look at as man see. He look inside the heart. He see the people who carry the spirit, not outward appearance. Glory to Jesus. We are going somewhere with this message. I want you to understand something. So after obedience, the next thing that will follow it is what? Is prayer. We're going to see that as well. Abraham was praying. When you obey God, finish obeying God, the next thing you can do is for you to be somebody who pray. Because you don't obey God without talking to God every day of your life. When you wake up in the morning, the next thing you can do is for you to talk to your Father. Determine what will happen to your day. Because you have already been what? You have already been somebody who is obedient to your Father. When you wake up in the morning and you came to your father, you didn't talk to him and you walk away. How will your father know where you are? It's the only child who wake up in the morning and get said, good morning, ma, good morning, sir. What? The father will say, how are you? Are you okay? So that communication, he said, Papa, I'm going now. It's okay. Go well, my son. It shall be well with you. Today you shall make it. Why? Because you have talked to your father. So prayer is act of communication between we and heaven. When we wake up in the morning, you don't just wake up in the morning because you are rushing. Then you have time for a cup of your coffee, you have time for a cup of your tea, but you don't have time to talk to your God. Then tomorrow, if somebody asks you, say, I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God. How can you be a child of God when you don't have communication? You see, it's people who talk to their father, the father will remember. Oh, if somebody asks the father, did you know where is your son? He said, oh, he talked to me this morning. He went to so and so place. Your father remember where you are. Glory to Jesus. So for God to remember you, you have to be somebody who communicates with him. How can you communicate with him? You cannot communicate with him only for you to be in your house to pray, but also in his presence, where his eyes is always there. Because the eyes of the Lord is upon here. Whenever you are here, Jesus sees you. He knows that you are in his presence. So he can be able to say, when we are praying, Jesus knows how many people who are in this service today. That is how Jesus can remember you. Glory to Jesus. But when we are far from God, there is no way God will remember you. So prayer is another thing that makes God to remember people. We are going to see it in the life of Hannah. And go with me to the book of Genesis, book of 1 Samuel, book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 1, from verse 1 to 17. We're going to see this woman. Maybe we're not going to even read much. I would let you know where you can start. We're going to see this woman where the husband married 2 wives. The other one had a child. Hannah did not have a child. But anytime they went for celebration in Shiloh, that is where every one of them gathered once in a year. So whenever they came to that place, what will happen? You will see Anna. Anna will forsake that celebration. He will forsake that party. He will forsake about the things of the world. He will go to the house of the Lord to pray. We're going to see it. Elder, let's just see it from Genesis chapter 1 because of our time, please. 1 Samuel chapter 1 from verse 1 to 17, please. 1 Samuel chapter 1 from verse 1 to 17.
First Samuel.
Yes.
Chapter 1.
Yes.
Now there was a certain man from Ramathaim, Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, an Ephrathite. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah, his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters portions. And unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut her up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb.
You see, when you are reading it, you find out, it said, and her adversaries, which is her enemy, was also mocking at her. So, but one thing that this woman understood is that whenever she has that opportunity to go to the place where they will do sacrifice yearly, the only thing she would do is for her to go to the house of the Lord to talk to her father, knowing that it's only God that can change her situation. So whenever you know that God is the only person who can turn things around for you, hold him by your prayer. Glory to Jesus. So even though the husband was giving her more portion, but that does not mean that this woman did not understand that she has a problem. So when we have a problem in our life, When we know that this world is full of evil, the only place where we can seek comfort is when we go to the place of prayer to pray to our Father so that our situation will be changed. And the Bible said that God has shut her womb. She couldn't conceive. So Anna will be thinking, what is going on with me? Am I okay? Is there anything I have done? Have I committed any sin? Have I done something wrong? All these things is coming to the mind of Hannah. But let's see what happened. Whenever they go, she was bitter. She was, let me say this to you. There is a situation you will be. Then you are going to be bitter. That nobody, even people are talking to you about the solution. You don't want to even hear it. If people are saying to you, you know what happened? I want you to go to social and so. You don't want to, because inside of you, you are already bitter. Glory to Jesus. But this woman did not give up. Because you know why? You know what she understood? That our God is a God of remembrance. Glory to Jesus. So that the day of her divine remembrance will come one day. That you are praying every day doesn't mean that your prayer are not being answered. Doesn't mean that God is quiet. That one day your book will be opened before God and everything concerning you shall be remembered that day. Amen. So this woman keep going yearly. The Bible says she keep going yearly. She keep going yearly. But God never even do something about it. But one particular year, one particular day, one particular hour, one particular minute, one particular second, God showed forth. Her book was open. We're going to see it. And she gave birth to the greatest prophet so far. Glory to Jesus. Elder, just jump, start reading from verse 8, please. Because of our time.
Then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli, the priest, sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but wilt give unto thine handmaid a man-child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth.
That's what they did.
Amen.
So what made this man of God to stand by the side? He said, Bible said it came to pass as she continued praying, before the Lord. So when she was saying to God in verse 11, let's see what he said. She said in verse 11, he said, and she said what? And she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou will indeed look upon my affliction and remember me. Immediately she said that word, and remember me. God said, my God, let the book of remembrance be open for him. Immediately the Spirit of God came upon Eli. Eli stood by the side. You understand what I'm saying? God remembered her immediately. So because she has provoked heaven, not only that she asked God for remembrance, but look at what she did. And he said, do not forget me, but if you will give me a child, then I will give it back to you. So God said, no, this lady have touched my heart. What will I do? He speak to his servant Eli. As she, one thing I like about this number 2, verse 12, he said, as she continues to pray, even though she haven't heard any answer, she continued to pray in the house of the Lord, before the Lord. Then when she continued to make communication, God sent his servant Eli. Eli was watching Hannah. Eli was saying, I think this woman is strong. Because the prayer of Hannah on that very day, Hannah was praying, you cannot hear her voice, but her lips was moving. Do you know there is some situation you will be? Nobody will hear your voice in prayer, but your lips, your heart is praying. You are pouring your heart unto God immediately, and God said, "No, Eli, go." When Eli find out that Hannah did not drink, he said, "Let the God of Israel," let's just go to verse 17. Go to verse 17 because of our time. Go to verse 17. And Eli answered and said, "Go in peace. Let the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou have asked of him." You see, Eli did not prophesy. Eli agreed with Hannah. You get what I'm saying? Because Eli know that the book of remembrance has opened for Hannah. He said, "Go in peace. Woman, don't pray anymore. Just go home in peace." He said, "Let the God of Israel, the God that you came to serve here, the God that you came to seek here," because the Bible says in the book of Matthew 7 verse 7, he said, "Ask and it shall be given unto you." He said, "Let the same God do what? Grant thee thy petition, whatever you have asked of him." And Hannah conceived a child. Glory to Jesus. Because of remembrance. Glory to Jesus. So prayer is the most important thing when it came for God to remember us. Prayer. Another thing is work. Because anybody who is asking, "God remember me, God remember me," when God opens your file, your CV, there is no history of work there. There is no way God will remember you. You must have a work record with God. You must have something that you have done for God. You must have something God will say. When the angel of the Lord, God, you are praying and say, "God, please remember me." And God asked the angel, "Can you bring the file of this my son?" They open it. Where is the work history? Zero. God will say, "Please, can you keep this file away?" I think that's what I'm saying. The way is when CV come to any company, the first thing they will look at experience, the work history. When they find out there is no work history, you don't have experience related to that particular the odd job they want to offer you, they will say, "Can you?" You know, some people, they know how to tear the CV. They will just tear it into two and fold it and put it in. Why would they do that? Because they could not find something they are looking for. Glory to Jesus. But there was one man in the Bible. We're going to see it in the book of Acts chapter 10, from verse 1 to 4. There was one man God remembered because not only for his prayer, but also for his work. Glory to Jesus. We're going to see it in Acts chapter 10, from verse 1 to 4. Elder, please.
There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision evidently, about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming in to him and saying unto him, "Cornelius." And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, "What is it, Lord?" And he said unto him, "Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. And now send men to Joppa, and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodgeth with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee that what thou oughtest to do." And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them, that waited on him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa. On the morrow, as they went...
It's okay, Elder, from verse 1 to 4. Okay.
Amen.
Okay, look at how Bible describes this man from verse 1. We're going to see how Bible describes him. He said there was a certain man. Go to verse 2. Look at how he described him. He said he was a devout man, the one that feared God, with all his household, and give much alms to what? And pray to God always. He give much alms to people and pray to God always. So this became part of his work every day. when this man wake up in the morning, he has to know that part of my daily routine, that is for me to give alms to people, that there is something I need to do. Not only that I pray, but first of all, Bible says that he give alms to people and pray. Glory to Jesus. So when he wake up in the morning, what will be in his mind? That my job today is for me to look for somebody to help. My job today is for me to look for somebody to feed. My job today is for me to look for somebody to elevate. So he became part of his work. And what happened? Look at verse 3. And he saw in a vision. See, go to 4. Look at what he said. He said, and he looked and said, do not be afraid. What is it? What is it, Lord? He said unto him, thy prayer and thy alms has come up to become a memorial. That means when you go to dictionary and translate this word memorial, it has become remembrance. Glory to Jesus. So his work and his prayer has become what God is looking at every day, and it disturbs the heart of God. So when we don't have any work history with God, when we don't have anything that we have sacrificed, we have offered to God, or what we are doing that will attract the attention of God, the mind of God towards our life, forget it. This man, what made God to visit him, to remember him, is because of what he's doing. Glory to Jesus. Amen. So, giving, we're going to come back to work again. Giving is one of the things. So when you are giving, whether you are giving God your talent, you are giving God what your qualification, you are giving God your time, there is never something that you give to God that God will not remember. You see, sometimes people think that we spend too much time in the church. I said that's why God is changing destiny. Because when we give God much of our time, God will give us much of testimony. So sometimes people want to come in here, they want us to be quick so that they will go home. I said that is not true. And you get what I'm saying? When you go to job, your work, if you're working 12-hour shifts, you must finish your shift. Because if you cut your shift short, your money will be lesser. And you get what? So when your shift is 12 hours, you are going home by 7 hours. Then you won't cut the remaining 5 hours money, or 6 hours, or 4 hours money. You will not cut it. Why? Because you are shifted. You did not finish your shift. Because some companies have a clocking card. When you come in, you clock in. When you are going, you clock out. So if they want to pay you your wages at the end of the week, they come to the system to see how many hours you have worked. Your hours of work determine how much you are going to get. So when you come to the kingdom of God, once you open this door to come in, the angel of the Lord know. You have already clocked in the service. So when you are looking at that time to go, I have to go. It's taking too long. Can prophet finish this thing so that we'll go? Can we? Let me share this thing to you. And I like God for one thing. That day you think that service is taking too long, He can give one person deliverance, and more time we will be spent for you to be patient by fire by force. Amen. Glory to Jesus. So you can see God in another way. More time that you give to God, more blessings that you get. Amen. More time that you dedicate to God, more breakthrough that you get. But sometimes people doesn't understand it. They want you to do magic. They don't want to know that this is a process. This is a system. Amen. It's like more hours you work, more tasks you pay. Because if you work 60 hours a week, task man cut a lot of money for you. So what do? You choose to work 40 hours so that your task will be low. So that your task will not be higher than what task man is supposed to take. So the more you dedicate work for God, whether you do anything here, whether you came here, you clean the house of the Lord, it's a work. Whenever God opened the book of this ministry, He will remember you. Glory to Jesus. We're going to see about that giving and work. We're going to see it in the life of Dorcas. Let's just see it in the book of Acts chapter 9, from verse 36 to what? To 42. Elder, please read it for us. Acts chapter 9. About this woman who was doing a lot for the community. Let's just read it.
Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, who, when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And forasmuch as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him, weeping and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them. But Peter put them all forth, and kneeled down, and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand, and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner. Hallelujah.
Glory to Jesus. When you start from verse 36, you find that Bible says that this woman was full of good works. You know, look at what he said. I know the name was called Dorcas, and this woman was full of good works and alms deed, which is giving. So the woman was full of good works, and she gave alms to her community. She used her talent for the widows. So whenever somebody, a widow, has some cloth that is not okay, the woman will sew it for them and say, go, we know that your husband has passed away. So what she's doing, this woman did not realize that the community value what she's doing. There is a book of remembrance that has been opened for her. When she's dead, they hear that Peter was there. Every one of them was crying to Peter. Peter, you have to do something else. What are we going to do? Peter, we need a miracle to happen. And they were showing Peter what this woman was doing. That's why I said it to to many people. I said, don't live a life without legacy. Amen. You see, when God remembers you, you must have a legacy. Amen. Don't live a life that when you die, you end up in this place, graveyard, without no legacy. So what is remembrance? When God remembers you, divine remembrance, even though you are dead and gone, because as a child of God, we are not counting ourselves as people who are going to die. What we do, we change the address. That is what we do as a child of God. Our body stays here, but our address changes. Our body goes where you came from, but our soul returns back to who made our soul. So that means that we are not going to die. That people thought physical death will die, but spiritually we are not dead. We already changed the address. So my address moved from this earth to heaven. Amen. Glory to Jesus. Amen. So that time when you are looking for prophet, I'm already by the side of Jesus. Hallelujah. Singing, praising the Lord. I will say, people of the world, I'm here enjoying. Amen. So shall you enjoy in Jesus' name. So you understand what I'm saying now? So the book of remembrance, not only on this earth. People thought divine remembrance is when God remember me. God remember me. Please, I pray. No. You must have 4 things. You must have it. You must have obedience. Then you must have prayer. You must have work, and you must have giving. Amen. You may not be able to pray more, but your giving can speak for you. You may not be able to be the one who carry microphone, but your work will speak for you. Amen. So God will look at your work and say, no, Satan, you cannot put hand on this child. Amen. Because this child belongs to me. Amen. So the book of remembrance is about to open for somebody today. Amen. Because the Bible says, and God bless Noah. Amen. Because automatically, when this book is open for you, blessings will follow. God never opened anybody's chapter with a low letter. God opened anybody's chapter with capital letter. And that capital letter is the blessing. Because anytime Satan is fighting you, Satan always stop with full stop. He just put dot. Then when God wants to open your chapter, he starts writing it with capital letter to show to Satan that he has released blessings upon your life. So that's why tonight God is about to change somebody's destiny. Amen. I said your enemy is too weak. Amen. Because if you don't want, I take the blessing, I go home myself. You know, listen, whenever we're here, I'm a product of blessing. Because I know what God can do. You know, I said it, God doesn't need 2 days. He doesn't need one, he needs only a second. For you to be what you want to be before God, second, He transforms your destiny. It's the only man that you need protocol. You see, when you go for man blessing, man will begin to ask you this, ask you this. God doesn't need it. When he said to Abraham, when you remember Abraham, he just opened a chapter. And Abraham's name was started with capital letter. It doesn't matter what is in your life. You know, I have seen God move in a mighty dimension. I have seen God change destiny. The time we are prophesying about Samuel in this ministry, the mom was already, the pregnancy was already too big. Tell me how God can be able to know that through that prophetic word, that boy, the prophetic word went inside the womb and changed that boy to become a prophet. Glory to Jesus. So you can see what God can do. God is not a respecter of any man. Whatever you are going to be today, God, let me say this into you. Sometimes I say to people, forget about your knowledge. Keep it aside when it comes to God. Because God can take you from nowhere and make you to be somebody great in your life.
Amen.
So your knowledge is nothing before God. What you need is the Spirit of God. When you carry the Spirit of God, believe me, you can change every situation. You don't need any other thing. I said, it's good to work hard. I work hard. Because I'm somebody who work almost 7 days a week. You know, when I finish what I'm doing for myself, I'm doing something for God. So I work hard. But I never capitalize in my hard working. You know, I can be in my house and see the blessings of the Lord. And I walk through it, it manifests. Amen. The reason why is that because God has given us eyes to see. That only Him can change the situation. Amen. So tonight, your blessing is about to begin to manifest. Amen. We're about to pray. I like what Jesus said to one man. Jesus wanted to hear him and say, if only that you can believe. What does he mean? If only that you can believe. If only that you can obey. So whenever people hear the word of the Lord, the only thing sometimes that bring them down is that sometimes you say to somebody, the Lord will do it. And the person is watching over that word. Then the person forgets that the things of God is not physical. You see what discourages us? That I have given a prophecy now. If you want the prophecy to manifest, you have to first carry the same spirit that gave me the prophecy, which is the Spirit of God. When you hear this name, Spirit of God, it's not physical. It's a spirit. So if you are thinking to use your physical eyes to see it, you are making a mistake. Because the word I spoke is not physical, it's a spirit. Glory to Jesus. So sometimes we judge the things of God with physical eyes. So when we are judging the things of God with physical eyes, people begin to watch, how is it going to happen? And you are looking at, there is no way here now. There is no way in this world. I'm telling you there is a way here. God said to me he's going to make a way here. Amen. Then you are looking at it. Everything in my life is blocked. Where will I see the way? You are not the one that will make the way. It's the one who has spoken. The Spirit of God will go and break the wall.
Amen.
And the way there will be way there.
Amen.
At the end of the day, we say, my God, this is only what God can do.
Amen.
God is about to do it tonight.
Amen.
I don't know who is that,
Amen.
but I trust in my God.
Yes.
I have seen God move.
Amen.
God has put me in a situation where I see Him change life.
Amen.
Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
So that's why when I'm here, I am confident in Him who has called me. I trust in God. I don't know about you, but if you trust in Him, He will make you to be on the top.
Amen.
Can we stand up on our feet? Why giving it? Why sometimes you have to understand it's very, very important for us to be people who are obedient. I remember when I was facing a lot of challenge in my life, I shared it here one time. It was so much severe. So I can say that it was, I look at, there is no way. I was talking to one of the prophets, I can call it a spirit. He was helping me in prayer those days. I called him one day, he said to me, do you know what God is saying to me? I said, what is that? He said, God said to him, if I can do something that will pain me, something that I can be giving to him, that I will be crying, that will pain me a lot, he will stand up on it to change my life. Believe me, when he finished it, I said to myself, what will I give God now? What will I be able to do now that will change God, that will make God? I realized that I was having money in my account. That was 1,150 euro. I said, so far as God has given me an opportunity, because I call it an opportunity. Believe me, I went to my account, I took 1,000 euro with commission of 50 euro. I sent it immediately to the guy. I said, look, if God said it, I am willing for a change. Amen. Believe me, he received the money. He said to me, I'm going to call you by 8. We're going to pray. He called me by 8. He was praying. He said to me, God said, 1 year, go and know this one. 1 year from that very day, you are going to have your own business. Amen. It happened that it's not up to 1 year. That is the time I load my first consignment from here to my country. Glory to Jesus. Hallelujah. So, and from that platform, sometimes when you do something that pains you, believe me, it's not easy. The same particular day I sent that money, I came to start my car to go to work. It was a very severe winter. My radiator burst. I have sent money. I don't have any car to go to work. I can't drive the car all day because without car, I cannot go to work because it's agency work. But I called a friend. I said, what is happening? The friend said, I have this car here. If you can come and take it to start doing, to start working. Then when I took that car again, I was driving, the car hit a wall. So now I don't have another car now for me because the car was making some noise. Then I went to mechanic. I was saying, what will I do? I was saying to mechanic, I need a car. Mechanic said, you know what happened? Can you swap this car with one car that is there? And the car mechanic offered me was better than what I want to give to him. I don't know what interest mechanic find in that car. He said to me, can you swap it with another car that mechanic gave me, served me almost 6 months before I bought another car. And it was cheaper. When I was driving the car, coming back one night, the police stopped me and said, that time it was so tough that even I have only insurance. I don't have low tax because I don't joke with insurance. The guy said to me, present your insurance certificate to your station, to guard station that is in your place in 7 days' time. I went to buy insurance certificate to my greatest, low tax. To my greatest surprise, I came to Lotus office, fill the form, give the woman. The woman look at it and said, this car still have 2 months road tax left. Amen. He said, this car was having 2 months road tax. He said, what happened? I said, I can't find the road tax. He said, go take this form, go and stamp it in the guard. Come back here, pay only 12 euro instead of 190 euro. Glory to Jesus. So I went, I came, the car have 2 months road tax. I was driving. Glory. God can surprise you.
Amen.
You see, in all journey, I can see him remembering me because I was obedient to what he asked me to do. Amen. When we are obedient to God, God never disappoints us. Amen. I never seen God fail anybody that trusts in him. It's we that fail God. That's why sometimes I say, thank God for my father in the Lord. Because it's like, you know, when he said that to me that, do you know God has called you to be, I was just saying, so, you know, just keep this word aside. Because sometimes I cannot, you know, I don't want to be able, I was looking at, you know, but at the time, I was asking, you know, when you look at, it's not easy. You know that you are still full of life. But you know, for you to be obedient to God, sometimes it's challenging. But I have to put everything aside, even friends aside. I say, God, if only that you can do one thing for me. And God answer my prayer. I say, what I need from you is your power. If you can show me your power, that you are powerful, I will serve you all the days of my life. Amen. And God never disappoints me. So that's why every day we'll stand here. I can guarantee you that God is powerful. Amen. We're about to pray. He's a powerful God. Don't joke with him. Because if you put him aside, believe me, people thought, can I say this thing to you? People thought, okay, sometimes that when you build up your career, it's going to help you. And I have seen people who have money who are crying because they don't have Christ. Then I have seen people who have money who are enjoying because they have Christ. If you see some people who have money who are serving God, go and check their life. Peace of God. You can never buy peace. No matter what you do, you cannot buy peace. You see, peace, you cannot buy peace. But I can guarantee you, you can buy love. But you cannot buy peace. That is the only thing. And you see, love, if you have money now, as a man, every woman would like to marry you. You understand what I'm saying? So once you have money, whether you are short, you see, I have seen people who have money, but they are short like this. But you go and look at their wife. You will see their wife tall, beautiful, very good woman. Become obedient to that short man you are seeing. Because of what? Money. So money can buy love, but money cannot buy peace. Glory to Jesus. You understand what I'm saying now? So money can buy everything, but peace comes from Jesus. We're going to pray. Lift up your hand. Say, Father, I lift my hands unto you.
I lift my hands unto you.
I surrender all unto you.
I surrender all unto you.
You are the only God that I have.
You are the only God that I have.
I pray tonight.
I pray tonight
For my book of remembrance.
for my book of remembrance
To be opened before you.
to be opened before you.
Father,
Father,
let my name
let my name
be opened before you.
be opened before you.
That after tonight's prayer,
That after tonight's prayer,
you will remember my family.
you will remember my family
Because of me.
because of me.
You will remember my generation.
You will remember my generation
Because of me.
because of me.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
let tonight
let tonight
be my night.
be my night.
Open for me
Open for me
the windows of heaven,
the windows of
the
heaven,
doors of heaven,
the doors of heaven,
and let my fire
and let my fire
appear before your throne
and appear before you
for remembrance.
for remembrance.
Oh God,
Oh God,
let your spirit
let your spirit
be upon my life tonight.
be upon my life
As I'm
tonight.
going to pray,
As I'm going to pray
that the Spirit of God
that the Spirit of God
will open my book of remembrance
will open my book of remembrance
before you,
before you,
and my name
and my name
shall be announced
shall be
to the
announced
whole world.
to the whole world.
So shall it be.
So shall it be
In the name
in the name
of Jesus.
of Jesus.
Adonai, we worship you. We worship you, Son of God. Son of God, you are so good. You are so good, Almighty God. Hallowed be your name. Your dominion is forevermore. Is forevermore. Adonai, Adonai, we worship you. We worship you, Son of God. Son of God, you are so good. You are so good, Almighty God. Hallowed be your name. Your dominion is forevermore. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. All fear is gone. Because I know, yes I know, he holds my future. My life is worth a living just because he lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. All fear is gone. Because I know, yes I know, he holds my future. My life is worth a living just because he lives. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Daddy, thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Yahweh, thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Daddy, thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Papa, thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Yahweh, thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Daddy, thank you, my Lord. I'm singing this song, you know, but I'm seeing something here. The Lord has asked me to give you one communion to take.
Amen.
He said, I should give you one communion to take. Because this communion is going to, you know, it's going to go inside of you and it's going to transform your destiny.
Hallelujah.
And all the troubles and worries in your life shall be over.
Amen.
I don't know why, you know, the Lord asked me to give you this communion.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, maybe she doesn't understand my language. I think I speak too much of African English, isn't it? Because I'm seeing somebody, you know, as somebody who is having some little challenge, but not in that way. I'm seeing something in spiritual way. So I want to pray over this communion. I'm going to give it to you. You are going to take. I believe you will like it.
Amen.
It's the blood of Jesus.
Amen.
It's the blood of Jesus.
Thank you,
Amen.
Jesus.
There is something that if she will come on Sunday, I will pour oil upon you. And something is about to change.
Hallelujah.
She may be laughing, but she will serve God.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. She may be laughing, but she will serve God.
Amen.
Amen.
And I pray that God will give you somebody who knows Him in form of marriage.
Amen.
And you get what I'm saying? Somebody who have the heart of God,
Amen.
who knows God
Amen.
in the areas of marriage,
Amen.
because He's going to produce a result.
Hallelujah.
I don't want I will pray for this communion, okay? Then we are going to give you an end of the service. Lift up your hand. We are about to pray. Say, Father,
Father,
I lift my hands unto you.
I lift my hands unto you.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
I have no power of my
I
own.
have no power of my own.
Tonight,
Tonight,
I need your power
I need your power
to overcome
to overcome
every challenge
every challenge
of life
of life whatsoever
is becoming a challenge
is becoming a challenge
to my destiny.
to my destiny.
Any stumbling block
Every stumbling block
that is blocking my destiny
that is blocking my destiny
not to be remembered
not to be remembered
by God
by God
and by men,
and by men.
I come against it
I come against it
by the power
by the
of
power
Holy Ghost.
of Holy Ghost.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
I command
I command
the power
the power
that is in the blood
that is in the blood
of Jesus
of Jesus
to destroy
to destroy
every power
every power
challenging my destiny,
challenging my destiny,
every power
every power
stumbling block
stumbling block
as a power
as a power
challenging my destiny.
challenging my destiny.
Tonight,
Tonight,
I command
I command
the power
the power
of Holy Ghost
of Holy
to
Ghost
destroy
to destroy
such powers.
such power.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
tonight,
tonight,
let your power
let your power
go to my family.
go to my family.
Every generational problems
Every generational problem
in my family,
in my family,
generational sickness.
generational sickness.
Somebody, you are going to watch this video. God will take away diabetes in your family. God will take away diabetes. I want to say it for somebody to hear. You are going to watch this video. As you are watching it, the power of God will take away diabetes in your family. And it shall not consume you. In the name of Jesus. Say every generational problems
Every generational problem
in my family,
in my family,
every generational challenge
every generational challenge
in my family,
in my family,
I come against you
I come against you
by the power
by the power
of the blood of Jesus.
of the blood of Jesus.
I command
I command
you that challenges
you that challenge
that run through generations,
that go through generations,
whether it is sickness,
whether it is sickness,
to be destroyed
to be destroyed
by the blood
by the blood
of Jesus.
of Jesus.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
let your blood
let your blood
go to my family
go to my family
and destroy
and destroy
and uproot
and uproot
every generational curses
every generational curses
that run in family,
that runs in the family,
in my family,
in my family,
whatsoever
whatsoever
that is challenging marriages,
that is challenging marriages,
hindering marriages,
hindering marriages,
blocking marriages.
blocking marriages.
Tonight,
Tonight,
I command
I command
such issues
such
to
issue
come to an end
to come to an end
by the blood
by the blood
of Jesus.
of Jesus.
I terminate
I terminate
and I uproot
and I approve
such issues.
such issue.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
my name
my name
shall be remembered
shall be remembered
tonight.
tonight.
My name,
My name,
my family names
my family name
shall be remembered.
shall be remembered
Whatsoever
whatsoever
that is covering it,
that is covering it.
Lord Jesus,
Lord Jesus,
I command
I command
your blood
your blood
destroy
to destroy
such issues.
such issues.
Lord Jesus,
Lord
let
Jesus,
my name.
let my name.
As I'm coming, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Let my name
Let my name
be remembered.
be remembered.
Let my name
Let my name
be remembered.
be remembered.
Every power
Every power
that is seeking for blood
that is seeking for blood
in my family,
in my family,
I come against you.
I come against you.
You that satanic powers
You that satanic power
seeking for blood,
seeking for blood,
I destroy
I destroy
such powers
such powers
with the blood
with the blood
of Jesus.
of Jesus.
Holy Ghost,
Holy Ghost,
go to my family
go to my family
and destroy
and destroy
every covenant
every covenant
that has hindered
that has
Wait, I'm coming. I'm just trying to see something here. And I want to pray for Papa again, okay? Okay. Bring Papa this year. I want to pray for. Get me oil. I want to pray for him again. Say every power that has covered the glory of the family. Every power that has covered my glory. Lord Jesus. Tonight I come against such powers. Let the power of God destroy such powers right now. In the name of Jesus. Let the power of God destroy every demonic power that has covered the glory of my family. Let such powers be destroyed by the authority and the power is in the name of Jesus. Say my glory, the glory of my family. I command you my glory, my family glory that has been hindered by generational powers to be released right now. Let that glory of myself, my siblings, my family members, return back right now in the name of Jesus. But I pray for Papa in the name of Jesus. Lord, I pray that Papa will live as long as you want him to live.
Amen.
There will be no complication of heart issues.
Amen.
Lord, I rebuke every spirit in his family.
By fire.
Every spirit in his family.
Amen.
That want to cause heart attack.
Jesus.
Out of Papa.
By
In the
fire.
name of Jesus.
Amen.
I come against you
By
Yes,
fire.
right now.
Amen.
Right now.
Amen.
Go out of him.
Out.
I rebuke you out of his life.
By fire.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, nobody can say, Papa loves God, but they don't want him to be here. Father, I come against
Amen.
such powers.
Amen.
May the light of Jesus here
Amen.
destroy such powers.
Amen.
May the light of Jesus
Amen.
destroy such powers.
By fire.
Let the light of Jesus,
Amen.
let the light of Jesus,
Amen.
let the light of Jesus
Amen.
destroy such powers.
Amen.
Anything that suppresses you, Papa, in your dream,
Jesus.
I break it in the name of Jesus.
By fire.
Any power that's suppressing your dream,
Yes,
I break it in the name of Jesus. I set you free in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
I set you loose
Yes,
in
Lord.
the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
So shall it be. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed.
Amen.
Go explain to Papa what I say. Because of our time. Say, Father,
Father,
this month of August,
this month of August,
I shall be remembered.
I shall be remembered.
The month of August
The month of August
is my month.
is my
The
month.
month of August.
The month of August.
Hear the word of the Lord.
Hear the word of the Lord.
I shall make it.
I shall make it.
In this month of August,
In this month of August,
I shall make it.
I shall make it.
She's a very talented girl. She's a very talented girl. Yes. I don't know. There is something special about her.
Amen.
She's a very talented girl.
Thank you, Jesus.
But she will stop looking down upon herself.
Amen.
She will stop looking down upon herself.
Amen.
Jesus.
Okay? She's a very talented girl.
Thank you, Jesus.
And I'm seeing a star, but she will stop looking down upon herself.
Amen.
Say, Father,
Father,
my destiny
My destiny
shall manifest
shall manifest
in this month
in this month
of August.
of August.
My destiny.
My destiny.
Hear the word of the Lord.
Hear the word of the Lord.
I command the light
I command light
of Jesus
of Jesus
shine
shine
upon my destiny.
upon my destiny.
My destiny.
My destiny.
Hear the word of the Lord.
Hear the word of the
You
Lord.
have been powered
You have been
the world.
All over the world.
Oh Lord,
Oh Lord.
I need a life
I need a life
of remembrance.
of remembrance.
Tonight,
Tonight,
let my destiny
let my destiny
arise
arise
for the whole world
for the whole
to
world
see my destiny
to see my destiny
and believe
and
that I'm
believe
serving a living God.
I am serving the living
In
God.
the name
In the name
of Jesus.
of Jesus.
Lord, I speak protection
Amen.
over this child.
Yes, Lord.
I speak protection.
Yes, Jesus.
You know, this child will not bear some certain name that is not from God. Okay? Don't give this child any traditional name that is related to any idol. Okay? I know why I'm saying it. Don't give a name that doesn't have meaning. The name must have meaning. The name must be from Bible. The child. Okay? Because it's for the glory of God.
Amen.
So we are not going to give this child some name. Then Satan begin to contend with the destiny of this child. It's not going to happen. The Lord will preserve it. The Lord will preserve this baby. Father, I pray by the power of the Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost.
By the power in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, by the authority that and power that raised Jesus from dead.
Yes, Jesus.
Mighty and everlasting Father.
Amen.
That Sonia and this child is protected.
Amen.
Right now by the authority in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
The power of the Holy Ghost is coming upon you.
Yes, Jesus.
And you will feed it. The baby will be able to turn.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Sonia, receive the power and the anointing of the Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost.
So that you will carry this baby to the end.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Yes, Holy Ghost, go inside of her.
Yes, Lord.
Yes. 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 No power will contend with this baby.
No.
Any witchcraft voice, I silence you.
By fire.
Yes, you that witchcraft voice of that woman,
Yes, Jesus.
I destroy your voice.
Amen.
Right now in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
This particular baby is not for you.
Amen.
I break your edges over this child.
By fire.
Yes, I speak to you, baby.
Yes, Lord.
Hear the word of the Lord.
Amen.
You shall be a prophet.
Yes, Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Nobody can destroy your destiny.
Oh.
I speak to you as a prophet.
Yes,
The
Lord.
light of God will be upon your life.
Amen.
Do not listen to the voice of the enemy.
Oh.
That will call your name forever. I command fire of the Holy Ghost. Yes. Let fire destroy their camp.
Amen.
They will not tamper with this one.
No.
I surrender it with the fire of the Holy Ghost.
Fire.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
There will be no complication.
No.
There will be no issue.
No.
There will be no bad report.
Amen.
The day of delivery.
Yes, Jesus.
Before you appear to hospital,
Amen.
angel of the Lord is there.
Amen.
Before they will know it, the baby come firm.
Amen.
That is how the children of this ministry is being born.
Amen.
Before you start saying to your husband, it's already come.
Amen.
The power of God is going to protect it
Amen.
in the mighty name of Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yes, touch of the Holy Ghost.
Amen.
Feel Sonia right now.
Amen.
Set him free.
Amen.
Set her free.
Yes, Jesus.
Set the husband free.
Amen.
Yes, no idol can stand on their way.
Amen.
No idol can stand on their way.
Amen.
Let the light of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, and I pray for your sister. Right now, I pray for your sister. In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
I pray that God will preserve her life.
Amen.
I rebuke any spirit that enemy want to use to destroy her life.
Amen.
That will make her from one problem to another. From one situation to another.
Yes, Jesus.
Lord, I bind that spirit.
By
I cast it out of your life, of your sister.
fire.
I speak the light of God.
Amen.
Your sister will live.
Yes,
She will
Lord.
not die.
Amen.
Your sister will live.
Yes, Jesus.
She will not die.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
So shall it be.
Yes, Lord.
In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
Glory to Jesus.
Hallelujah.
We are still praying. You know, today we are not going to pray. On Sunday we're here. Because our communion is on Sunday.
Amen.
Come. It's a good girl. Come. Church, stretch forth your hand. Because we want to know this one day we are going to see her on top.
Amen.
So we know that God is the one who has done it. You know?
Thank you, Lord.
Okay. I don't know, is there anybody serve God in their family? That goes to Orthodox religion. It's Orthodox as well. Catholic is old religion, isn't it? I can call it Orthodox, isn't it? So I can say it that way. Catholic, yeah? Is your mom a Catholic? Your mom? Catholic. Did she serve God well in Catholic? Huh? She do. She's dedicated Catholic. Your mom, she's a dedicated Catholic, isn't it? I don't know if you. Huh? She did. Yeah. Father, I pray for your light.
Amen.
Touch Benita, isn't it? Felicia. Sorry. In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, preserve this light.
Amen.
Preserve this light.
Amen.
Preserve her light.
Amen.
Preserve her light.
Amen.
Preserve her light.
Amen.
Preserve her light.
Amen.
That no power will stop this light.
Amen.
No power will hinder it.
Amen.
No power will quench it.
Amen.
Lord Jesus, make something to come out of this light.
Amen.
That the whole world will see her and believe that you are a living God.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Father, I pray as you ask me to give this communion.
Yes, Jesus.
Lord Jesus, I pray for your power to enter this communion.
Amen.
Let your glory fill this communion.
Amen.
Let your anointing fill this communion.
Yes, Lord.
Father, use it to destroy anything that is not of God inside of her.
Amen.
Father, use it to give her strength.
Amen.
Through this communion, reveal to her who you are.
Amen.
May she see you, Jesus, and believe in you, Jesus. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you,
In
Lord.
Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
She's really a strong believer. See the way she, you open this one, you can sit down on your seat and take, okay? God bless you. So lift up your hand. I want to release the blessings of God. You can go back to your seat. Lift up your hand. Father, I stand up on this altar.
Amen.
Lord, I pray for breakthrough.
Amen.
If your enemy is not strong, I take the breakthrough and go home. Lord, I release breakthrough
Amen.
upon somebody's life.
I receive it.
Breakthrough.
I receive it.
Breakthrough.
I receive it.
In the area of documents.
Amen.
I pray this word breakthrough.
I receive it.
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 If there is word breakthrough in dictionary, if that word breakthrough in Bible, this month you shall see breakthrough.
I receive
That word shall manifest in your life. Breakthrough. Breakthrough. Go and break through. This month of August, no member of this ministry shall return back without breakthrough. Father, I stand upon this altar. I decree and I prophesy. Breakthrough. 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 In the name of Jesus. Listen, it's not only breakthrough. The word favor. If there is favor in the Bible, this is for the children of God. So this word favor shall manifest. I stand upon this altar to declare favor. Every member of this ministry shall experience favor. I speak favor into your life. Favor of God into your life. Favor of man into your life. Receive this word favor. Receive the spirit of 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 favor. In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
I don't know why this word, Elder God is saying this. He said, I'm going to fast track some certain things. What is on the process will begin to make sense. You know?
Amen.
I don't know what is that, you know. You see, I will fast track some certain things, you know. So the things are going to take shape the way it's supposed to be.
Amen.
I don't know about it. I don't know what is the process. I don't know. But I'm just speaking the way God is saying it.
Amen.
So it's about to fast track things, okay? That is going to move in the right direction.
Thank you, Jesus.
Only God knows what is that.
Amen.
But whatever it is, I know testimony is coming.
Amen.
God bless you.
Hallelujah.
God bless you.
Amen.
My God. She looked very young. Wow. She looked like a baby. Like a girl, you know. I wish to be from Marie so that I have this. Glory to Jesus. God bless you for coming. Let me
Amen.
anoint her hand, okay? God will still bless you for coming. Give me oil. Let me anoint her hand, okay?
That's what the son coming, but he ran away.
Why did he run away?
He said, no, leaving God. I said, no, God is great.
Maybe he's angel here and run away. So the angel will bring him back.
Amen.
So let him not run away, you know. Father, bless her.
Amen.
Father, touch her.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord Jesus, I pray for your blessing.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Yes, Holy Ghost, take over her.
Amen.
Yes, Holy Ghost. Let your power touch her.
Amen.
Angels of the living God, locate the son.
Amen.
Bring the son here.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, I pray for your power.
Yes, Lord.
Give me this. Give me this oil again. Give me the oil. Just 1 second. Lord Jesus, just 1 second. Yeah. Lord, I anoint her forehead.
Thank you.
Amen.
It shall be a light
Amen.
unto your life.
Yes, Lord.
This oil shall be a light
Amen.
unto your life.
Yes, Jesus.
Father, reveal yourself to her.
Amen.
Right now, Holy Spirit, take over her.
Yes, Jesus.
Take over.
Amen.
Take over.
Amen.
Take over.
Amen.
Yes, Holy Ghost, take over her.
Amen.
Take over in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Let your power possess her.
Amen.
That
Amen.
she will serve God.
Yes, Lord.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Yes, Jesus.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
I know she's not a believer. She's not a believer. Yeah, she's not a believer. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. She's not a believer, but she has been, but she's not a believer. If she's coming on Sunday, we'll lead her to Christ.
Amen.
Okay? We'll lead her to.
She was trying to come, but she didn't. But God have moved her here too close to the church.
Okay, we'll lead her to Christ. Because I know that she's not a believer. But if she give her life to Christ, she will see blessings.
Amen.
She will see blessings.
Amen.
I will say this thing, okay? You know why I'm going to say this thing? Allow her to go on that trip. Off for that trip, okay? Allow her to go on that trip. Put your mind, put your mouth off that trip. It's from God. Don't try anything that God will be angry. That is how I'm going to end it. It's done. So lift up here and let's take our offering. Okay? We'll take our offering, we'll pray. On Sunday, we're here. While we're taking our offering,